Wes. You're right. I am massively uncomfortable with this. I just absolutely love giving away recognitions, and this is not my thing. But I know how serious this is. I know what this means, and I'm just beyond humbled, beyond grateful. There are so many people here to thank. I don't know where to start. But one of the things that, for me, when I was getting that phone call, the cohort that I had the honor and privilege of going to school with here, and so many people in this room that are just as deserving or more deserving than I, it doesn't line up. It just doesn't. I shouldn't even be here. In a lot of ways. When my uncle was talking about, my dad left when we were kids. My mom raised 4 of us on her own. She was a traveling music teacher. And the old Prop 13, guess what the first thing that was cut? Music. So she raised 4 children as an organist and custodian of a church. And I'll never forget the day when I was coming home from middle school, because I grew up with nobody that looked like me. And I said, Mom, why in the world did the teachers single me out and tell me about college and cater to me? And if I don't turn my homework in, they give me an extra day. They don't treat other kids that way. And she said, sweetie, it's because you have privilege. We don't even have food. I know what it's like to run an extension cord next door to get power and what it's like to take cold showers. She said, no, hopefully you'll get it one day. The rules for you, for white men, are very different than other people. I'll never forget that. She said, I just hope you choose to do something with it. For me, I didn't want to be a teacher. I was pushed to be a teacher. I did go to business school, and I did major in business. I did work in the financial industry for a couple of years, and similar to the story we heard from Wes, that the universe and a higher power sometimes has a different plan for you. And when I was offered the head water polo coaching position, I was in a really well-paid job, and without hesitation, I took it. To make $3,000 a semester. I was filled with great decisions back then. But guess what? The only thing that was available during the day was really to teach, to sub. And the only thing that was open in the summer was the LA County Office of Education. So what an honor and privilege to cut my teeth working with children that nobody wanted. And when I stepped into that, these were kids from my neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with them. They made some bad choices. But we loved them, we cared about them. We started a bridge program to Cal State LA. I got to work with Father Boyle. We didn't know what we were doing. I honestly just treated him the way that the benefit I had in my household was grade 13 was a non-negotiable. That wasn't the case for my friends. If that's what's going to give you a better life and more opportunities and options, shouldn't we be doing that for every kid? Let them make the decision instead of the system making it for them? So I had this extraordinary experience where I'm now in a profession that feeds my soul. I get to work with extraordinary young men and women who have been expelled, incarcerated, and help them transform their lives. And then I go to work for the comprehensive districts, and my goodness, we rated them, sorted them, labeled them, packaged them based on adults' perception of what they could and could not do. So if I've done anything, it's just take everything that I've learned at USC from this family, and I've just relentlessly been challenging the status quo ever since. I will not accept anything less. And having the opportunity to bring that type of a spirit that my mom gave me that I just wanted for every single child, what a blessing. When I got to work and people said, what are you going to Linwood for? It's a mess. So there's a lot of kids there. And they need help. The graduation rates were 58% when we got there. Lowest performing schools in the state of California. 100% free research. And I get to work with outstanding individuals like Dr. Giddy and Dr. Brent Sanko. start winning all these awards because we raised the expectations for children. We eliminated tracking and built a system of practice that guaranteed every kid access if they wanted to go to college. I don't believe in this admiration of these gaps that exist, and we do admire them. These are things that are completely manufactured by the system. They are not an indication of what our kids can do. And so when we have people ask how we did, we raised the expectations for children. We didn't put them in classes. I never accepted kids are not academically ready. Never accepted that. Kids can't do it. I never accepted that. There is a very strong gravitational pull to the status quo, and it'll chew you up. And so we have to stand against that. Dean and I were talking earlier, if you're really don't know how we got there, how are you going to interrogate a system that's going to produce the same results year after year after year? You know, in Linwood, there's no gaps anymore. Graduation for our black kids went from 41% to now 90%. Love, care, and support, but high expectations, and whatever it takes. I still am uncomfortable up here, I'm going to tell you that right now.
You're pretty good though.
Because there's so many people in the unit. Dr. Robles was my superintendent when I was a principal. And the reason why we were getting attacked by the West Side was because we were trying to diversify the school and make sure kids that lived in the community could come to that school. That was not welcome. She supported when things got crunchy. Honoree hired me. She's my first district job. She's a mentor, she's a friend. Dr. Castrita taught me how to be a county superintendent. You know, trying to step into his footsteps. I mean, that's a pretty tall order. And then the dean, of course, I mean, who gets to do this? You get to be part of a university where your dean is the leading expert in the field, and to live out his research and be able to talk to him. He's one of the most extraordinary humans, by the way, aside from his expertise. Dr. Cash and that cohort, all these folks here, Shelley, Kevin, Matt, Freundland, friends for life. Friends for life. I mean, one of the things about the Trojan family is that COVID, it doesn't matter what's going on around us. We support each other, we share resources, and that's why I say, all of you should be up here. Tell me. But I got to the County Office of Education, and you know, there's some interesting politics and dynamics there. But we put together a mantra, and that was that, you know, for those communities and kids who experience the most harm, they deserve our most attention. And we gave people to work out permission to work outside the margins. And as we've heard so eloquently from some of our folks here tonight, congratulations to all the DSAG scholars. Really, thank you for inspiring me and giving me so many things to hold on to. When you design for those who have been most hurt, everybody wins. And so we gave folks permission. And a lot of the things that our office gets credit for and the superintendent gets credit for is really because of the folks that we work with. You know, University of San Diego is a great university right around the corner from our office. And it does not reflect the community of San Diego, particularly downtown. And so an example of what we did with folks that I got to work with was work with the university president, work with the foundation, and we identified 66 graders in Southeast San Diego, one of our most underserved areas, who would be part of the Black Ingenious Initiative. And so they would come up to our innovation center. By the way, we define innovation as to eliminate bias and create opportunity. And now we have 60 Black sixth graders participating in college and workshop activities and some things that we designed. And by the time they're in 12th grade, they are guaranteed admission to the University of San Diego. Other than that, their entire tuition is paid for. So you can accept status quo or you can work against it. You know, this feels like, I appreciate you sharing what's going on. I remember vividly our kids walking around phone numbers in their pockets. Because of federal policy, COVID, everything, we saw so many of our kids get displaced. And we built a school by the border, another example of just working against status quo, so they could continue their studies. And you know, one of the most remarkable things about that is as we built this program, it was really just to make sure our kids could continue their education, because so many of our children, in times of economic insecurity, would leave. They'd come back 3 years later and have nothing on their transcripts. So we decided to fulfill that gap, but that turned into a deeper partnership with the Department of Education in Mexico. Long story short, we mapped out our courses and how kids participate in that program. We are able to teach the 3 courses in Mexico that they demand for a diploma, and our kids now are going to have a diploma that's good on both sides of the board. You know, the greatest gift I get to do, and I have been able to do as a county superintendent, people forget the county offices have schools, they have kids. So expelled, probation, kids are incarcerated. I call ourselves a 43 district because everybody says there's 42 districts. And I said, no, there's 43. Don't forget about our kids. And I appreciated something that Dr. Crew said when we were on a panel today. It reminded me deeply, you know, of why we do this, but the things to hold on to that matter. And when he talked about changing systems and going back into classrooms and seeing the joy on kids' faces. You know, one of the things that I'm so deeply proud of and I'll never forget is one of my last interactions. Going into a classroom, and a young lady was just smiling, she was having a ball, she's engaged. And I said, you know, tell me about what you're learning. She was working on one of her projects with the community college, taking classes online. And she'd gone to 13 schools in a year and a half. 13. She was a victim of trafficking. She was not wanted anywhere. And she was I said, well, how long have you been with us? She said, I've been here for 6 months. I said, well, tell me about why you chose to stay. Because people care about me. I know my teachers love me. I know they care about me. I see a future here. I've never seen that. And I'm going to graduate. I've already finished 1 semester of college. And when I get out, I'm going to be a nurse. And I'm going to do great things in this world. So thank you for reminding me about why we do this. The ultimate pleasure for me is that, is seeing kids reach their potential. As leaders, we get to create those conditions, irregardless of what's happening outside of us. Just what an honor and privilege to be able to do that. Even some of my friends, I don't know too many people that get to live out their moral purpose and get paid for it. Honestly. What a blessing. You know, in 2016, when we had to live through this and provide supports for our kids, I'll leave you with this. I don't even know how long I've been talking. I was told 8 minutes, and I think I screwed that up. Before I forget, I have to thank my beautiful wife, Vanessa. Somewhere along the line, we have missed an opportunity to provide some sort of spousal support if you're married to a superintendent. Because the sacrifices, the time, and I'll never forget, one of the very few times I was able to have dinner with my family. And I'm coaching a superintendent, and we're texting, and she just delicately grabbed my phone. She pulled me aside, and she said, honey, I love you. I don't even know if you remember this. I love the fact that you care so deeply about 500,000 kids, but I need you here with these two right now. And so my girls are 12 and 10. They need their dad in a different way, and I have stepped away, but I'm still supporting the field. And every time I hear a dean talk, I want to jump back in there. Because I do miss it already. I really do. I love being a superintendent. Every part of it. But I remember in 2016, we started reading something at the end of our meetings because it just fit. 2018, Dr. Keith Kent, or Kent Keith, I don't remember. He is a graduate of Ross here. And in 1968, as a freshman at Harvard, he wrote Paradoxical Commandments. And it kind of disappeared, and it wasn't until Mother Teresa passed, they found these written on the walls of a place in Calcutta. And he was so inspired by that he republished it. And so it goes something like this. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs, but follow only top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. I'm so grateful, so humbled, so honored. I love you. Thank you for this. And fight on.